things off, I'd like to introduce our first speaker, the Honourable Nigel Hallett, MLC. Mr Hallett is representing the Minister for Finance, Commerce and Small Business, the Honourable Simon O'Brien, who was unable to attend today's briefing. Mr Hallett is a member of the Legislative Council and represents the South-West region in the Upper House. He was previously a shadow spokesperson for regional development and also a shadow spokesperson for the Peel area, so very well qualified to come and speak here today. So please put your hands together and welcome our first speaker.
Good morning everyone, and it's always a pleasure to be in Mandurah. As you may be aware, the South-West region covers from just north of Mandurah to just east of Albany, but I've got to tell you, Mandurah, and as you know, we have a part-time office here, so it's a great place to be part of. You know, Peel is certainly one of the fastest growing areas, and it's a real pleasure to do business in the area, so it's a special one to me. For the Chamber of Commerce, it's an excellent turnout, and as Mark has said, across the state, it's been a very successful program, and to get the record number, well, it's indicative of what is happening in this region. But my job here this morning is to represent Simon O'Brien, and as you know, he's the Minister for Finance, Commerce and Small Business. And I think the strength of what the government's done in demonstrating to regional communities now is becoming evident as we see the social and economic standing in our regions is improving, and we're now starting to get the spin-off filtering right through the communities. The major infrastructure upgrades that are occurring in the priority areas, such as the transport, telecommunications, schools, hospitals and housing. You may be aware that in the 2012-13 state budget, the Peel region was allocated over $111 million to build and support in this community. And the funding, you know, obviously is intended to provide the continual growth to the region, and it's part of a longer-term plan of the government to maintain and strengthen the vibrancy of regional Western Australia. $32 million was committed to education within the Peel region, and that is evident with the construction and improvement of regional schools such as in Byford and Pinjarra. $3.1 million has been allocated towards electricity expansion works in Mandurah, while the Ravenswood pumping station has received a further $9 million to finalise those works. We have seen a large amount of money come into the private sector investment in the diverse mineral and energy resources across the state. And it's estimated that over $32 billion in publicly announced contracts have been awarded to locally based suppliers since July 2011. That's an enormous amount of money to flow back through our communities. It equates to some 75,000 jobs being created or maintained in Western Australia. The state government, and through some pretty strong lobby, and I must acknowledge Phil Edmund, he's a member for the South Metro area, did a fantastic job. He lobbied the state government on recognising local content, and to the Minister's credit, it was picked up and maintained, and he certainly pushed it along. And with the Premier's support, the Minister for Regional Development and Lands established a buy local parliamentary working group, and this was chaired by John Bowler, who was the MLA for Kalgoorlie. And as you all know, John is very passionate about his region. The group investigated the challenges and opportunities facing regional businesses, and one of the main considerations was to ensure local businesses had the opportunity to supply state government agencies and major resource projects. And the group's report was submitted to Cabinet, and I'm pleased to advise that a number of actions designed to support the small to medium-sized enterprises in Western Australia was initiated. Excuse me. For example, the work carried out in local content in resource projects led to Minister O'Brien launching the West Australian Local Industry Participation Framework in July 2011. The framework contained 10 initiatives designed to maximise local sourcing, and in addition, 10 more were recently launched in November 2012. And as a consequence, the state government is now engaging in strong dialogue with project proponents on the requirement to provide full, fair and reasonable opportunity to local suppliers on major projects that are underway in the state. And I think you will all recall some press some 18 months ago where a lot of local companies were saying we're not getting a crack of the growth that's happening across the state. And I think now you can go into the Kwinanas and particularly into a lot of the regional areas and you can see strong evidence of where it's started to filter through, and you know, we're all pretty happy about that. We're also talking to the Commonwealth Government about the need to respond to change, more competitive market conditions, and also engage closely with suppliers in terms of assistance schemes. And another initiative emanating from the framework is the extremely successful Industry Facilitation and Support Program, and this was launched in October 2011. The program is to provide a financial boost of up to $25,000 to improve the capability of suppliers who are working or aiming to enter the resources industry. Over the first round, 132 applications for assistance from businesses were received, with over 40% of these applications coming from the regions. There were 4 companies within the Peel region that have accessed the Industry Facilitation and Support Program to assist them, and that was the development of the business and marketing plan, purchase of a lapping machine, training, computer software and accreditation. To date, the benefits reported by these businesses include productivity gains, greater competitiveness and an increased flow of contract awards and employment generation. The presentations today will feature K's Engineering, and this company has received support through the Industry Facilitation and Support Program for a range of initiatives, including purchase of equipment, computer software, training and an occupational health and safety audit. And this has resulted in the company securing now a number of contracts in recent months. The second round of Industry Facilitation and Support Program commenced on the 15th of October 2012, and this time it's funded by the Royalties for Regions and was available only to regional businesses. And obviously details of this are now on the Department of Commerce's website. The briefing in itself, a Buy Local Parliamentary Regional Working Group initiative, is the 5th of the 7 proposed briefings, and as Mark mentioned earlier, the first occurred in Geraldton in September. That was positive. The second and third briefings in Kalgoorlie and Albany attracted some over 50 businesses, but today you've topped the lot. And the last one was held last month in Collie. In terms of policy setting and specific programs of support, the Buy Local Parliamentary Regional Working Group found that regional businesses are not aware of the assistance that state and federal government agencies can provide. And consequently, it was recommended that gatherings such as this morning's be set up in regional centres to provide the local understanding of what programs are available to help underpin their businesses and how to access them. So this morning you're going to hear from the state and federal government agencies about how they can assist your business, your competitiveness and your performance. So you'll have all received a USB device when you came in, and hopefully that will help you. I thank you for your attendance this morning. I wish you well with your businesses and look forward to any of the questions later on that all the guys from the agencies are here. Thanks very much.